Okay, so I'll just get to that slide here and then. Okay, great. So thank you guys again for joining. It's amazing. It's always a pleasure. And today is actually exciting because we're going to have a really wonderful session that Tawanda, who is one of the community champions, is going to be guiding us through. And before that, I'll just do a little bit of admin or housekeeping, as I call it. So firstly, to let us know that we are on series number 14, which means we've done actually 14 of this, plus 2, which are not accounted for because they are breakaway sessions. So we do 4 and then a break about 2 weeks, and then we come back on what we call a breakaway. Today we are looking at just crypto simplified. We're kind of stitching everything together right from the first sessions that we had in February up to now, and not so much that would be necessarily the sequence or the format, but I mean, I think if you see here, the tagline is that it's, you know, just responding to frequently asked questions and more from a beginner's perspective by another beginner. So I actually love it because of that particular fact. I think we have some few more people joining us. So yeah, so I think that's really what this is going to be about. We're just stitching everything together and making sense of it all. So welcome, Kevin and Gabriel. So this is really the lay of the land for the sake of all of us, and especially those who are joining for the first time, just to see, you know, how far we've come. This series will run until we still have another 2 more to go before we take the next break. And then obviously we'll tell you what should happen at that time. But yeah, so we have all of these resources available. In fact, I'm actually doing a re-recording finally of the first 4 in a different format, you know, which as soon as I'm done, I'm going to make that available. But this is going to be a critical resource for beginners, because it will just be the one recording that you'll need to listen to, and then you'll have a sense of what we have been about all along. So we carry on as we welcome the people who are joining us. So this quote, I think most of you have seen it. I mean, the essence of it is nothing complicated, just to say, you know, this is something that cannot be ignored. As Victor Hugo once said, it's an idea whose time has come, and you can't really stop it. You just have to think of how do you incorporate it into your plans, you know, and this is what this is all about. And I think the second one is just really about the fact that there's so many options in the market, and we need to just look at it closely, and because not all coins, not all crypto and the underlying technologies and the utility behind it is the same. It's different problems it's trying to solve. And that's really why we have a set of tools, which we'll get to talk about today. So welcome, Nate. I think it's your first time joining. Welcome. Just out of curiosity, are you joining from Nairobi, Nate?
Yes.
Great, excellent. Welcome on board. So let's have fun. Okay, I decided to have some liberties. If somebody is looking closely, they probably would have picked up all these fiery laser light eyes, and that probably looks really cool or scary, maybe. Actually, I look like, I don't know, a monster or something. But for those who may not know, it's you know, it's just a meme, really. I mean, nothing special, which is just about people who are really enthusiasts around crypto. And yeah, you're most welcome. I'll share with you the link if you want to create something for fun about yourself or on your picture that just promotes the same. Great, we're having new people joining us today. My friend from Poetry is actually joining, Fungwa. So I think really, I mean, for those of you who may not know me, I mean, I have a background in technology. I happened to do a research paper a few years ago on Bitcoin in particular. And then that was it. I didn't really do anything with it. And obviously, I'm not really a millionaire, crypto millionaire or anything like that. I wish I could show you Lamborghinis or fancy cars or anything, but I'm not, unfortunately. And I think the motivation is really from there to say, here's an opportunity that is available to us as a collective people of this continent, you know, whom we love. And that's why we are doing this thing. And our endeavor is to try to reach out to all of these people and just share what we know. Welcome, Fungwa and Patrick. It's good we see your microphone is now open. Great. So this is really my motivation to want to share what I know. And then, of course, the community at large is really the same thing. Again, today, it's my privilege and honor to have my friend and colleague and champion. You know, we have quite a lot of history. And Tawanda, I think I'll let you do the honors of introducing yourself and, you know, let people hear your voice because you'll be guiding us through the session.
Thank you very much, Tim, for that. It's it's rather interesting that I'm a champion per se. I'm just a guy that also is passionate about crypto, and I've been more or less doing a bit of research on it from February or beginning of March, so to say. I'm an accountant by profession, currently working as a financial manager in one of these companies in Johannesburg. It's a listed company. But yeah, other than that, we've had bad season and bad season and bad season. I still am very much an Arsenal fan.
Sorry.
We will continue with it. At some point, we'll actually have some NFTs from Arsenal jerseys, I guess. But yeah, basically that is me in a nutshell.
Thank you, Tawanda. Good luck. Maybe the NFTs might save you. So we've actually covered NFTs, just for your information. I know some of you are wondering what is that, but we have material on that. So let's start here. A barometer of the markets. And I'm just very interested in your latest knowledge of what trends are happening and what does that really mean. Again, this is where we interact. Unmute yourself and just share what's been happening from your own you know, observations and the news and, you know, what's been just happening generally. I don't know who'll go first, just to share what they've been seeing in the market and what that might have meant or what that means. Kevin? Anybody? Jeremy? I know you guys are always like really observing what's happening in the market.
Well, for those people holding on Ethereum tokens, it looks like there might be something promising, at least in a while, in the coming week or 2 weeks, in essence in July, because they are busy updating some, I think what I've heard is that they're changing their fee structure. So in a way, they're going to make it more efficient to transact on Ethereum network. And they're having a major is it software upgrade, if I can put it that way, just for beginners knowledge point of view. So I think that is also promising for the price to gain in value following that update.
That's a major one. Thank you, Jeremy, for that. I think the other one I'm just remembering is, I think, okay, we don't really like Elon Musk lately. I think there's an interview on the 21st of July. I know that some people would be bullish because of that. Also, El Salvador has passed a rule that they have adopted Bitcoin as a real currency in their country. I think there's a few South American countries who might follow suit. We are waiting to see. So we share news on the Telegram channel, some of these things, which is really more macro stories that really influence the markets broadly, because our lens is a big one. We look at it more long term. So we're not really trading in as much as obviously, you know, we may want to be curious to know what's been happening. So it's not necessary. So anybody else who may want to just add something quickly? I'm going to breeze through this one quite quickly. If you're burning, please unmute. If not, I'll just carry on. Maybe I'll carry on. Cool. So housekeeping, again, this is not intended to help you with your thesis in as much as some of us are academic. Neither is it, you know, financial advice. But again, we just give an overview. We're not recommending one particular coin. We just give you a perspective of the ecosystem, what is happening, and then you make your own decision. And then we have developed tools along the way and resources which we are happy to make available to you. And then equally, I mean, this is a bit misleading to talk about 4 weeks commitment. It's actually longer. This is episode number 14. So there's a lot of resources. The most important, which I'll mention, is do your own research over and above anything we share. And then lastly, apply, apply, apply. Action trumps anything. And then I think as we go, I probably would want to start here. This is really just, the transition point almost to the session today. We did a survey or a poll recently in our Telegram community, and we had about, it was interesting, not that I'm surprised, about 53 or over 50% of our members as beginners. That's how they identify themselves. And then 40% split between DA+, with those people who kind of know a thing or two, and those who are like, okay, I'm good, I'm good. I have an opinion, I know, how to look around, I know where to look. We'll probably consider confident. Then really the minority of us would be what you'd call gurus or experts. So largely, we are all beginners, so you're safe, you're okay. And we have endeavored to really be beginner friendly, even when we were teaching about DeFi and NFTs earlier on. So we are beginner friendly, and we endeavor to be that all along. So I think Tawanda is going to tag on to that on the beginner aspect, and then build it from there. So resources, we have an index. Thankfully, we are talking about the top 5 today. The evaluation framework will see it. And then the exchanges, we've covered that in detail. Which exchanges do we think are really good, not scams and not too small or anything like that? And then there's a strategy template, which we have covered. And then the diagnostic, which we had last week as part of the psychology session that we had. Now, just an overview of what the session is about today. So it's just really going back around what are the basics of crypto, what is crypto, what are the frequently asked questions, and then I'll just conclude at the end with the crypto index. So I'm not going to take longer because I really want to allow Tawanda to just take over from here. So over to you, sir.
Oh, well, thanks, Tim. I'm going to be very, very interactive in this. And the reason why I'm going to put it out like that is a few weeks ago on the Telegram group, I got someone from the Telegram group actually came to me off the group and posed a few questions that were quite interesting per se. And it got me thinking maybe it is actually a good time for us to have discussions around what we are doing about this phenomena of crypto, what it is and how we will, if at all, gain anything out of it. So it got me thinking, and I had a discussion offline as well with Tim on how to actually help each other from a group perspective regarding this, as we are, like he says, and rightfully, we are all but beginners, just trying to get an understanding into what this is really. And I get the feeling that it is here and it's here to stay. It's like the early days of the internet, if I were to give that as an example. So the first question I would actually want to pose to the group is that what is your understanding of crypto? Do we have any takers for this, or I just think of someone and then Tim can unmute that person and they can get talking?
We have very smart people in the room. So go ahead, Bianca.
I can attempt.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. All
Okay,
right, I'll go.
Cool.
I think I've said it in somewhere in one of the sessions that the best way for me to describe it to in layman's term is it's monopoly money, in a way, if you can grasp that concept. And then there's obviously various types of crypto, which needs to be explained. But yeah, it is, for me, it's like monopoly. And the difference also, it's not tangible. It's not tangible.
Thank you for that, Bianca. I really took the not tangible took note of that, and maybe we'll dwell on it a bit as we go forward. Anyone else? Fungwa, I saw you wanted to say something.
Hi, everybody. So I wanted to say pretty much similar to the previous speaker, but I'm just going to add how I feel, if they can be feeling it. But it's this scary space of this invisible money, as the previous speaker said. And yet it's also exciting because it's innovative and all of that. But for me, it's trepidation, fear when I think about doing this, and I've shared it with Tim.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, okay, wow, that's a good one.
That's also an interesting point to note there, Fungwa. Anyone else?
Welcome, Tangi.
Yes, thank you very much. So
And what is crypto, Tangi?
What is crypto?
Yeah, what is your understanding of crypto?
Okay, my understanding of crypto is very limited. Okay, to me, crypto or cryptocurrency is a what do you say this? Virtual currency. So it's not like the kind of money you would use at the bank. It's not tied to any institution. And it works with blockchain, I guess. And this is all decentralized way of making money transfers. So it's as opposed to the traditional way of using money, which is tied to an institution. Crypto money doesn't rely on that. That's what I understand, but I might be wrong.
Wow, that's a very advanced understanding, Tangi. And welcome, Theo. That's very good.
Thanks, Tim.
Okay, I'm glad I passed the test.
Yes, you did. Carry on.
Thank you so much for that, Tangi. I'm not even sure a beginner anymore. This is actually meant for beginners. I might actually want to take you on to run this session from that definition.
Oh, voila. I'm honored, but I'm glad to be part of this community, to keep on learning. That's my goal.
All right, thanks, Tim.
Thank
Tim,
you.
next.
Okay, so there we go.
So I've just been dwelling on it, and here just a few definitions, and these are from a bit of research from the internet, from some resources that I've actually gone through. So here it says crypto is a digital money, created from code. What that basically means for me is, as opposed to hard currency, as opposed to hard money, as opposed to paper money, this is more digital. It's more money or it's more an asset that you hold in the form or on the internet per se, or as opposed to hard money. It's not tangible. You can't go out there and say, here's my 500 and just count it from a cash point. But it is an asset that you can hold and use as we go. It's monitored peer to peer, as Tangi was saying. It's not centralized as opposed to centralized. I mean, with the centralized money, it's money that's determined by, be it a central bank of a country, for example, the South African rand. It's the reserve bank that has sole authority on that money, as opposed to cryptocurrency where it's determined or controlled by us as individuals. It's not so much on one person to actually determine what is going on, or it's not something to do with the politics of the day, that if President X decides we need to increase salaries for civil servants, let's just print more money. We cannot necessarily do that with cryptocurrency, which is a very, very big plus for me, in that it is us as individuals that actually control it, as opposed to the centralized system where the banks or the central banks actually control the currencies. And then it's also very safe per se. This I can leave to Tim to explain a bit if he's got the time, but it's basically saying once a transaction happens, you cannot have that same transaction happen again and again and again. You cannot cheat the system in that way. But it's a bit more technical for me. I am by profession an accountant, not into IT.
So maybe just to jump in there, I mean, we have, I could believe, I mean, and I know quite a few of my colleagues in the digital space are here. We could talk technology, blockchain, what it does. But I think really in the simplest way, the biggest innovation that the likes of Bitcoin, which is in fact, I mean, that's really where that innovation came through, that cryptocurrency solved, was the whole thing of a double spend problem, which I mean, in simple terms is, if I have a song and I actually, send you a song, I'm actually sending a copy of the song. It means I'll keep the song, you'll have a copy, and then you can send it 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times, whatever. But value or money cannot work like that. I should send you 10 bucks, 10 shillings, $10, 10 rand, and it should move from my wallet to you. So the double spend problem is something that was solved through Bitcoin, using the underlying technology, blockchain and so on. But I'm not going to really major on that. I think we have an agreed view in this forum that says our lens is to look at this as an asset, so that we get away from the politics of, is it regulated? It's only central banks who have a right, and countries assert, things as currencies. And I think rightfully so. So we look at it as just another asset class that you have that you can actually invest in, just like property, bonds, stocks, and the like. So it actually gets us away from all the weedy stuff that we could get lost in, because we are not in an academic session. If you want the academic part, I mean, this, whatever we have on the screen could help you. And there's quite a lot of content online. So I think that probably will help to give some perspective and to simplify. And then obviously there are different models that give it utility, whether it's scarcity, the problem it's solving, and so on. You'll see those ones as we go along in the session. Tawanda, should I carry on to the next slide perhaps? And then we just, clear, I have to go along.
We're still there.
Yeah.
It's just also to note, we're just scratching the surface on this. It is a very, very wide topic. One can actually go on and do your own research on this. It's just, I think the sole purpose of these meetings are just to excite you, so you can actually do your own research and dwell further into it and see which crypto you need actually to be investing in, and why you're going to invest in it. I think let's move forward, Tim.
Yeah, sure.
How do you make money with crypto? That's a very, very good question. I think in essence, at the end of the day, for me, it just boils down to, I like to see the way or the knowledge that we have of crypto as just, I think we would be less than 1% of the world that's actually into crypto now. By the time this is worldwide, or everyone, just about everyone knows crypto, we should have made our money there. So for me, it's about getting to understand what crypto is. And once we've got that understanding, then we dwell into how to make money using crypto. Let's just go to the next slide, Tim.
Yeah, so I think the next slide probably gives a summary of some of the ways that these currencies are generated, or this crypto is generated. I think we covered, this is one of the slides I think it was probably the second one, which just talks about how can you generate. And I think there are three, ways. The primary is the mining. We know Bitcoin uses what you call a proof of work, which is computers doing the work, and that's how cryptocurrency is generated. Then we have earning, which some people benefited and got some Doge for free, Theo, because of completing surveys and things, which is just really, and also, I mean, there's quite a number of rewards that were available, or that sometimes are available as part of the distribution mechanism of new coins in particular. So that's what we're calling earn, whether that would be, selling goods online or completing surveys or anything like that. And then lastly, which is the most popular, is actually where we buy. We exchange our hard-earned money and we get, this asset or crypto asset or cryptocurrency or a coin through an exchange or an investment platform or a peer-to-peer platform. So I think that's really kind of the summary of this slide. I don't know if anybody wants to add. Theo, I know you probably are burning to say something. We haven't had you in a while.
Yeah, nice to be here again, guys. Been very busy about. I don't know. I don't really have much to say. Now I'm holding.
You're holding. Okay. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Carry on, Tawanda.
Yeah, let's just move to the next slide. How do you determine what crypto to buy? So this is actually a very, very interesting question for me. The way I view crypto as well in regards to what coin I'm going to invest into and for what reasons. I view crypto from a sense of it being like shares and buying shares on the stock exchange. Only now I'm buying coins on the coin exchanges. I'm just looking at the number of coins that are there as I would be looking at shares on, for example, JSE. You then look at what those companies or what the shares in whatever company that I want to invest in, what the company does. Does it, for example, if I look at MTN, maybe it's moving from 4G to 5G. And I'm thinking because of that move, there's bound to be, its share value is bound to grow. So before it actually gets to the 5G, I would rather buy my shares now so that at a point where it eventually gets to the 5G point and the share value increases, I can actually then sell off at a profit, so to say. So with the same mechanism, I come to shares. Let's move to the next slide, Tim. I come to crypto, where with crypto, it's more the utilities that we're looking at. We call them utilities, or what that certain coin would be, what its use would be per se, that then determines for me if I want to buy into a certain coin. For example, so I've got three utilities. You've got currency, platform, and application. When we say currency, it's more to do with a store of value, where I'm saying maybe in this time, in retrospect now, I should have maybe 3-4 weeks ago, a month ago, sold all my holdings in whatever coins I had because of this bearish period that we're in, and bought more in the currency, bought more Bitcoin, bought more Litecoin or whatever currency coins which hold value. So my $1,000, if I had $1,000 in crypto, in different cryptos, if I had put them into the currency space at that point, even as the value went down, my 1,000 would have remained at 1,000, as opposed to if I had that $1,000 in the Dogecoin, probably it's now worth 600 or 500 or 400 or whatever it is. So that's what a currency utility really is about. With a platform, Tim will explain better there, but application would be where, for example, we're looking at, if I'm looking at transferring, because I am from Zimbabwe, by the way, if I'm looking at transferring money home, it becomes cheaper for me to use crypto, a crypto application, as opposed to actually using the centralized system or the banks, where I get charged more and more and more. I stand corrected, in 2020, I think, the transfers of money to India, there was a loss of value of about 4 million or 4 billion, I'm not sure if it's B or M, in just transfer charges, which if those same transfers had happened through crypto, it would have been probably 32% of that value. So that's also a big factor for me if I am to buy into a certain crypto coin. Do I look at it and see what its utility is? Does it make sense for me? If it makes sense, do I think there would be value in me buying it for the future, where I see maybe instead of the 1% that I said earlier, that I think it's only a percentage of the world population that knows it. By the time it's 10% that know it, will the value of that application be bigger? If I think it's going to be bigger, then by all means, I'm going to put whatever I can put into that coin and buy and hold on to that coin.
So maybe a quick one, maybe from the floor. I'm curious because again, I know we're on different levels of understanding. I just want to make sure two things. One, are we following along? And then secondly, those of you who have some perspective on this, please go ahead and unmute yourself and just really contribute what you know. Especially my people from digital platform, Nairobi, don't be quiet. You guys are leaders apparently in the digital space. Can you unmute yourself, whether it's Anita or Nate or any of the new people, please just say whatever you know. Please share what you know. Theo, I see you've unmuted yourself.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the point you made on transferring money home. Yeah, I did do that as well, using Bitcoin to transfer money to Nigeria, because I used to use Mama Money. Then when it got to a time, Mama Money banned operations to transfer money to Nigeria because of dollar issues. So Nigeria wanted you to only bring dollar into Nigeria. They didn't want any other currency. So Mama Money had to ban operations as well. Then when I now started using Bitcoin, that was when I found out how much I was losing to Mama Money, like how much they were making off me. So for people that do transfer money, like putting crypto, selling crypto in your local currency and getting the money back in your country might be something to look into. It's more profitable than using other third-party apps or even the banks.
That's a good point, Theo. Thank you so much. And I think that's really the genius behind El Salvador, because most of those guys have families, people working in the US. So obviously it's quite clever to actually allow them to send money directly into the country via Bitcoin, for example. I mean, XRP is quite lean also. I use it quite a lot because it's cheaper. Any commentary from the floor before we carry on? I mean, it's not just about the breeze through and us telling you what, you know, as we are the expert. We are not the expert. We just are sharing what we know. Any comments from the floor?
Tim, I do have
Yeah,
a
so
question.
Anita, go ahead, and then Fungwa.
yeah, since you called my name out, I'll just comment. I'm very green when it comes to crypto. I'm really here trying to just learn as much as I can. And you should see the notes I'm taking on my on my book. So allow me to just learn from you all. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. We're glad that actually you're learning. Tangi, you want to say something? Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to react to one of our fellows who mentioned transferring money from abroad to his country.
Yeah.
Via Bitcoins. I'm wondering how does he do that? Like he buys Bitcoins and then he transferred the Bitcoins over to his country, and then there in his country, he buys the local currency, or how does it work exactly?
Theo,
Okay.
that's you. And how is it going with the central banks blocking you guys? Sorry.
Yeah, so most times what I do is, like Tim said, XRP is cheaper because if you have to move money across exchanges, it's just by XRP. It has a low fees when you move your coins around. So I do use Binance. So on Binance, Binance has a P2P, which is peer-to-peer trading system. So I already have rands. I use from South Africa. I use my rands to buy USDT most times, or buy Bitcoin. So that means I transfer money into someone's account. Okay, let me explain it better. I initiate a transaction on Binance. The person who is holding the coins, either Bitcoin or USDT, whichever coins I'm buying, Binance now takes hold of the coin as an escrow service. Then I transfer money into that person's account. Once the person confirms, Binance releases the coins to me. Then, since I'm still within the same Binance, Binance P2P operates in Nigeria as well. So I would just change my country to Nigeria on Binance, and I look for someone who wants to buy Bitcoin or USDT. Once the same process, but now I'm now the seller of the coins. The first process, I was the buyer. So once I sell, they deposit into my Nigerian account. It's pretty straightforward.
Okay. I have a challenge for you before Tangi responds. Theo, you have to teach us on P2P. I've never used P2P. I've never had to use it. You need to prepare a class for us one of these days and show us how it works. Because I know I'm familiar with Binance, P2P, blah, blah, but I've never really used it. But I'm sure, it will be very helpful. Go ahead, Tangi. I don't know, you want to say something?
Yes, so just to make sure that I understood, basically, the transfer relies on finding someone to buy or sell the currency you are using. So for example, if you are on Binance, you will find either a seller or a buyer, depending on if you want to send or receive money, right?
Yes, that is correct. So most times what happens is that there are always people with adverts already. So someone is already advertising, like, if you have Bitcoin, I will buy it for so price. But sometimes they might be offering you a ridiculous price and you want more money. So you might just create your own advert, but you might need to wait longer. But definitely, if you create your advert at the market price, you will still get a buyer. But if you need money very fast and you need the transaction to run very fast, most times you will just sell to someone who is ready, that has an advert running already.
And where do you find these sellers and buyers? Is there a market somewhere?
Yeah. If you go to Binance, you will see P2P. They have a menu option called P2P. Once you go to P2P, you will see the different coins. So there's a market for Bitcoin, XRP, for USDT, for each of the coins you see.
Yeah, so maybe let me just say this for the sake of us. Kevin, I know you're burning to say something. So we've covered some of these topics in the past, and we have material for that. And I think Theo is going to teach a session on P2P specifically. We've never covered that. But we'll make available Binance and any of the resources we've done. In fact, my first session was actually on Binance, teaching Binance and how it works and everything. So Kevin, go ahead.
I just wanted to say very quickly, I've also used the P2P. Just for people here in Kenya, you can actually use that with M-Pesa. So you can actually buy crypto coins with M-Pesa or sell. So it's very, very easy from that point of view. Okay,
that's good to know. Tawanda, sorry we've hijacked you, man. Sorry, carry on. I think let's carry on for the sake of time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually a very, very good point there. That's actually one of the reasons why we can actually, or why one would actually want to buy crypto as well, for those reasons. It could be that you want to have cheaper charges, or it also could be you want to buy for example, repo, because you feel it will actually grow in value because of what repo actually does. So it's all those things that determine for you, after you've done your research on whatever utility it is, and then you can actually buy into it. We can move on to the next one, Tim.
Yeah, so maybe I'll just summarize this for everybody so that we move on. So this is a framework we just kind of developed. It's also, again, we've taught comprehensively with also an illustration of, how you can use it, for example, on CoinMarketCap to actually filter out of the 10,000 coins which are there to a 5, just using the criteria. The first one which we've talked about, which we've covered in detail, is the utility one. And then the others are there: scarcity model, model and approach. How are they solving the problems? What's the size of the problem? What's the track record? We don't want people who will like disappear overnight, who are like scam artists and the likes. Obviously, we need to do, this is really, if you look at it, in summary, speaks to what you would call fundamental analysis. And then, of course, we have the layers below, which is around technical analysis and obviously sentiment, via, what's the latest, who's investing in what, how much money has been poured. And yeah, previously and famously, what has Elon Musk said, which is sentiment, which is terrible. It's really crashed our market in part. And what's China doing, So I think I'm not really going to labor on this one other than to say it's available, and it's common sense, really. It's common sense analysis. And we've bothered to put this. And I think the last item which I'll add is something I call resilience. You'll see it at the end when I talk about the different crypto coins, which have been resilient in the face of the crash that we had over the last couple of weeks. It's just a fact. I think we need to look at this and see how we can build an element of resilience. But again, it speaks to fundamentals. And yeah, so I don't know. Tawanda, anything you want to add? And then we can move on to the next one.
No, I think I'm good. Let's go to the next.
Okay, cool.
So having bought your crypto, or if you have bought crypto, the next thing is like anything else that you hold dearly. It's your asset. You need to secure your money. Where is my money? Where is my crypto? So there are a number of things that one needs to take into consideration. And it's very, very basic what I've just put here. You choose a unique password for each account. So when you log on, it's you and you alone that's logging onto your account, and you've got access to it all by yourself. Then, because it's very new, there is bound to be lots of scams. There is bound to be lots of people that are making money from cheating. So we need to think twice before getting into whatever it is that we're getting into. Have an understanding, do your own research, get a proper understanding of what it is that you're getting into before clicking into all these links and ads. And then we've got, I will explain this a bit later. We've got what we call hard wallets, where you would actually keep your money even safer, where you would need to secure your private keys. You're given those, and those are yours to keep. I've got someone I was hearing that's got 11 Bitcoins in a hard wallet. Unfortunately, they lost their security, their keys. So they don't,
Ouch.
I don't even know if they have it. If they have those 11. So it's also very, very important. And we need to move our coins from exchanges into these wallets where they are, then they become secure. It's you and you alone that can actually keep that. If you don't give that to your wife, girlfriend, child, daughter, son, whatever, you might actually die with your wealth. So depending on where you are with your relations, you might actually want to hold it to your grave, and that's it. There's a setup for two-factor authentication that you can also do. And yeah, I've also spoken about the hardware wallet that I think I spoke about that. Let's just move on to the next. Where to buy and how to secure. So we've got what we call exchanges and wallets. We've got Luno, Altcoin, Bitfinex. All these are exchanges that one can actually trade their currencies on, or their coins on. You put your money, you put your rand, be it your US dollar, be it whatever currency that you hold, into these exchanges, and you buy whatever coin that you would have decided on after having done your research, and then you then use that. Do you want to add anything there, Tim?
Not really, other than the fact that we've done a very detailed class, in fact, 2 sessions, one on exchanges. We broke it into 2, which is centralized exchange. We have not touched decentralized. We'll probably look at that in future when it makes sense. So you have what you call global exchanges, the likes of Binance, Coinbase, Kraken, reputable ones, which will not collapse tomorrow. So we've done a very detailed analysis, and we have that available. And then secondly, Julia did a deep dive for local exchanges. I mean, Altcoin Trade, unfortunately, only operates in South Africa. So she did a detailed one of Altcoin Trader, and Luna also, which is friendly, local and regional. So I think, those materials are available just for your information. So yeah, go ahead.
So with those exchanges, you would have what we would term a soft wallet, or where you would have your money in your own wallet, where you can trade on it, and you can actually keep your money there. The big challenge with that, I would go to the example of these 2 guys that ran away with, I don't know, billions and billions of rands in Bitcoin. If you keep your money in a soft wallet or on an exchange, if it were to crash, you would have lost out, so to say, as you would not be able to access that money. So I always advocate for you taking your money out into what we call a hard wallet, which is the one that has that 12-digit or 12-word password or security phrase, or whatever it is. So these are examples of wallets where you can actually keep your money, or keep your your currency. So it is like the earlier definition. It is not tangible. You will not hold it in your wallet, but you will hold it on your phone. You will hold the key. I don't know where you will write it down and store it for future reference. Those are
Share it to
the
the
wallets.
friend. Share it to the friend.
Yeah, you can always email me those for security purposes. So, but yes, it's basically that. So as opposed to you keeping your money in a bank, in Standard Bank, you can actually keep it in a wallet in the form of coins or whatever currency it is that you would have traded on or bought. Let's move on to
Maybe let me just say something quickly here. So guys, we are not scaring you to say, oh, because again, I'll be honest, I think the class that Kevin will teach us next week will be around staking. So you can't really stake if you're keeping it in your hard wallet and you've locked it under, a hard, I don't know, like in some go down somewhere that is secured with police and everything, because there's also other benefits of keeping it within what you call a hot wallet, which I think Kevin will tell us next week. So I think the main thing here is that it's a risk that you're taking. If you're going to keep it on a hard wallet, you better make sure you don't forget your private key and your access, because it will be just really, you'll obviously be traumatized and you might be taken to the emergency unit, if it's a lot that you're holding. Equally, don't invest in some fly-by-night structure like the one that Africa 24, after Crypt, who has that name? That's weird. These are the guys who ran away with 5 billion equivalent in rand in Bitcoin that Tawanda is mentioning. So the truth is somewhere in the middle. You need to do your due diligence. We've done that for the exchanges. We've not done one on wallets, but we'll do that. But I think Trezor, the ones we mentioned here, are repeatable enough. So yeah.
Which is the easiest way to get started? Let's just move on to the next one. I think they just, for me, it's in 2 parts. It's like Jeremy did a session on this. There's a company called REVIX that one can actually just invest in, So what you're basically doing is putting your money into whatever bundles that they would have done their research on, and whatever they have researched that's giving the best in terms of returns is what they then sell out or advertise for guys to actually dwell in, which Jeremy, I think, did a very, very good session on this and would give us a better clarity should anyone want. Like Tim says, there is lots of material on this. You can always get further information on this from the Telegram group. You can also use
So maybe
you
just
can
let me
also
summarize that, and Jeremy, you're most welcome to comment if you want to add anything. But I think they have simplified it into two bundles. There's what you call a smart bundle, and then a payment bundle. Smart bundle is really all the smart, clever things like Ethereum and all these other things. They're doing smart things. That's their utility, actually, you know, smart. And then the payments are the likes of XRP and Bitcoin and, you know, Litecoin and all these other ones. So they've just bundled it for you. So you don't really need to do the research. It's actually made simple for you. Let me just leave. Maybe Jeremy may want to just comment quickly on that, and then we just
Yeah.
yeah.
Just to add, there are 3 bundles, including the top 10 bundle. So the top 10
Oh,
is
top 10.
basically
Okay.
the largest
Yeah.
cryptos by market cap. So that's the first, and then the other 2 are more specific to applications or payment. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, excellent.
right, let's
Thank
go
you.
to the next two.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll skip all these other ones so that we just get on. Okay, great.
Yeah. All right,
Show
so
me the
what are
money.
some of the possible returns? Why are we doing this? In essence, it's actually to make money. So if we look at the returns that's been happening for the past year, I think you'll actually see, depending on what coin you would have bought, we've got Cardano there that is 12,000% over and above. That's a huge return. There's no asset that I know is that's actually giving so much return. And I think I'm putting it back to the knowledgeable people that are there, which is the 1% or the little people that actually know it. So the more the people know, the more value that coin or whatever it is gains. And that's why, for me, I would actually agree with what Tim says, what he always says anyway. If you don't have a crypto plan, you don't love yourself. This is what it basically boils down to. If you look at the REVIX bundles as well, you'll actually see it's upwards of 500%, which is phenomenal. I've got a investment which is actually upward of 300 over the past 3 years, but it's not crypto. Whereas I can actually get upward of 500 in a year in crypto. It's really interesting for me.
There's a question here
move on to
from
the next.
Fungwa. There's a question from Fungwa on this one to say, why is Bitcoin doing poorly? Okay, I think here's the principle here. How do we get 12,000%? You'll see it when I cover the top 5 index, but the explanation is simple. Right now, one Bitcoin is 34,000, 1 unit. There was a point in time where 10,000 Bitcoin could only buy 2 pizzas. Now, imagine if you had bought them, what would have been the return in percentage? It would have been absolutely crazy. I don't know how many pizzas you can buy now for 1 Bitcoin. You'll get tired, you know. And then is REVIX the Alan Gray of crypto? I mean, I can say that they're offering an index. And I mean, they're innovative. They're a technology platform provider. So, I mean, maybe I'll share with you, if you're on the Telegram channel, I'll just share these videos so that you can go through it for the sake of time, because we are literally almost out of time. Allow me and allow us to continue just to look at the last segment here, which is around which coins would you recommend? And I think I'm just going to take on this one. So I want to pause there and Guys, how did you find that session from Tawanda? Any comments from the floor? Did you find it useful? Before I do the last bit, with the last 5 minutes.
I really liked it, especially when you got the payment value of the coins. There was quite some good interaction, and which is leading us to this peer-to-peer trading, which is also good to know.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I'm also green, Tim. I just wanted to, I'm sure you may cover it in the last bit, which is, what you recommend for people like me. Is it to go the REVIX route? I was just saying Alan Gray is in they've got their portfolios that you can just buy into the top 10 performing tech or top 10 shares or whatever. Or do you guys recommend just really starting from the ground so you get an understanding? But like doing your own trading, or going with the REVIX. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll just respond in one shot. Any other comments from the floor? Feedback on the session? I think I personally really loved it, and thank you so much, Tawanda. Any other comment before I just wrap up with the last one slide? Actually, it's one slide, and then just wrap up comments. Tangi?
I like the fact that we could interact with the lecturer and you and anyone who had some knowledge to share. It's nice to have that to understand better what this all entails. So it's nice.
Thank you, Tangi. We have to do this, man. There's 1 billion people in Africa and we need to help each other. We can't be selfish and get anywhere. That's really the whole reason why we're doing it this way. Great. So allow me to just wrap it up and bring it home. Now, we have something called the crypto index, and I'll respond to your comment, Fungwa, as part of this wrap-up comments. So now there are probably 3 lenses. There's vanilla lens, which you go and just take a guess. Go to coin market cap. Look at what you like. I don't know what you'll use as a criteria, and then just buy that coin. Go to the exchanges. The second one, which I think is probably the one that I think is helpful, and that's our recommendation, is use our framework, which allows you to filter from all of those and then have a set of criteria. The framework allows you to be able to do that. Now, the first one is not really an option. So I like to do the rule of 3. So I'll say 1, use the framework, which allows you to go to coin market cap, do an evaluation, identify a coin, invest. Option 2, we publish this top 5 every 2 weeks via this forum, except when we are not on, which is just really our own research, which we've looked at. And these are the coins that we have, which I call our resilient coins, which have proven themselves over this period when the markets were correcting. I think Solana, Hedera, Algorand, all these ones that you see here. And I've obviously put a marker specifically on some of them. Cardano in particular has been very resilient. I mean, it's around right now about $1.25 or 27, still very cheap. Now, Polygon about $1.25, also 28, somewhere there, still very cheap. Solana is about $33 one. Again, these are smart. If you look in our quadrant here, they speak to what you call smart. Which is really the whole world of decentralized finance and trying to enable additional value on top. It's not just moving money from A to B, which is what Bitcoin does. It's not just moving value. It's actually doing quite a lot of clever things, behind, using the infrastructure that it has. So, I mean, and then I think maybe the ones that I think would be very interesting for the sake of Fungwa is, if you look at Hedera or H-bars, which is number 4 there, it's actually 0.25 or less than 30 cents US. Imagine if you have 1,000 units of those, and that moves in value from less than $1 to about $10 in the next 2 years, assuming, and because this is a whole ecosystem of blockchain technology. In fact, it's not blockchain, they call it hash graph technology. It's just another format of the same. So imagine that's where the scale factor of returns comes in, versus 1 unit of a Bitcoin, which you buy, you can sell your house and everything just to buy 1 Bitcoin, versus you can buy thousands. If the price moves in your direction, then you get those massive returns that you saw on Cardano, which is ADA here. Does that make sense? The logic of it, it's a scale issue. The more of it that you have, obviously the lower the price, the more you can be able to buy at a good price. And then because of the utility, and hopefully that works out, that whatever it is that they are building their project, they don't collapse, and it really makes sense and manifests in the real world, then that's where your returns will be. It's like buying shares at a fraction of the price, and then later on the company is now listed, or the company now, you know, is grown in value. I mean, Facebook is $1 trillion company. If you bought it before, can you imagine the value of what you'd have unlocked in Facebook if you bought, I don't know, in 2010 or something, or 2000 and I don't know when it started. It launched in 2004, but I know it listed a bit later. Okay, cool. Thank you. I think it looks like that makes sense to you, Fungwa. So I think what I'm saying here is, there are three options. There's the index, there's the coin evaluation framework option, which you can use. Secondly, there's the index, which we publish every 2 weeks. And then there's the REVIX option, which is what Jerem did a lot of work to share with us in one of the sessions, which I say still remains one of the most valuable sessions that we had, because it's very beginner friendly. You don't even need to use a framework, and you don't need to use our index here. So I think those are really the things that we have brought forth via this forum ever since we started meeting in February. And we just want to say, we are here to help you to succeed. If you know something, please share it back to us so that we can all grow together. So I'll publish this onto the Telegram channel, and I'll send the link via email so that you can be able to join the Telegram channel, and then we can get the value, all of us, as we go along. Algorand is actually 80 cents. US dollars. I just added this one today. It was not in our index 2 weeks ago. And then as we close, evangelize, spread the word, invite more people. Let's get more people into this forum so that we can help each other. And then for next week, I think we'll have Kevin teaching us about staking using Cardano. It's going to be fascinating. You know, how can you multiply your money using Cardano? If you have Cardano, that is ADA. And then after that, I think, you know, I don't know what I'll teach after, because I'll be teaching the last session before we take a break in 2 weeks. Okay, we summarize it this way, and then we close. I am over time by 2 minutes. I'm really sorry, guys. We just really, I think we got too interactive today. This session, we've covered the FAQs from A to Z, pretty much until where we have been so far. Hopefully you found it useful. And then the question is, are you ready to make your move? And again, please, don't watch this passing by and be left behind. Have a plan. We are happy to help you to be able to do this. So I think with that, that's really it. I don't really want to add anything else unless there's just closing comments, which will be part of our wrap up. Thank you so much for being part of the session today.
Thank you so much, Tim. Thank you, Tawanda. I'm feeling more emboldened, Tim.
You're welcome. Please don't miss these sessions. We do it every week unless when we take a break. Yeah.
Thank you so much everyone.
You're most welcome.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Good evening.
Good
Thank
evening.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great work, Tawanda. That was amazing.
Yeah,
Thanks, Tim.
really good, really simplified. Thank you.
And thank you to the community. You guys make it happen. That's why we do it for you, because you've been. Have a lovely evening.
Cheers. Bye.
Okay, thanks.